Kids love burgers and fries, but today I'm here to tell you that you can make your very own version of that fast food classic right in your own kitchen, but with 10 times better ingredients, and your kids are going to absolutely love it. So today we're making old school burger and fries, but a much, much healthier version. We're gonna start with getting our cast iron pan nice and hot. Now, I personally like to use cast iron anytime I'm making a burger because it gives me a really nice crust. So, we love that. So what I'm using is lean ground sirloin. By using a lean cut of meat, you're cutting out a lot of fat right there by just using a different kind of meat. I mean, come on, that's not hard to follow. Now to it, I'm gonna add in some kosher salt. I like using kosher salt when I make my burgers because it gives the burger a nice crust. So again, we're thinking of everything in here. And I like to use a fork to mix this together. Why? Because I don't want to compact the meat too much and make it super dense. I want to just mix it enough so that the salt and pepper is mixed through the meat, but not so much that it comes out super, super tough. We don't want that. So just mix it with a fork. And now just using your hands, you want to form this into a patty. Now here's what you're looking for when you're making a patty for your burger. You want the edges to be thicker than the center. You want to make a little dimple in the center because when you go to cook your burgers, it's going to plump up and you're not going to left with a baseball in your skillet instead of a burger patty. So just work it with your hands and make sure that the edges are a little thicker than the center. That looks good. It's got a nice dimple in the center. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the meat rest. And it's super important if you want a nice juicy burger to let the meat rest for about 10 minutes. I'm just going to stick it into the fridge and then we'll work on our potatoes. Now it's time to work on the potatoes. Now I really love to use russet potatoes for this because it's a slightly bigger potato and it's a little more starchy, but that's fine because it's going to get crisped up in the oven anyway. And all I'm doing is cutting the potatoes in quarters lengthwise. Why am I doing that? Because I want to get a classic fry shape, just like that. And then I'm just going to add them all into a bowl. Now that we have that done, time to season them. I'm going to put in some vegetable oil. You could put olive oil, whatever you have on hand will work just fine, and some salt and pepper. Now what I do is I have my oven preheated to 450. It's pretty nice and hot, and I also have my baking sheet that my fries are going to go on into the oven preheating. This is a trick I use all the time when I want the crispy fries, but without using a deep fryer. I make sure that the baking sheet is nice and hot, so when I put the fries on there, the bottom immediately gets cooked, so it develops a crust, which is fabulous. So now I'm going to get my baking sheet right out of the oven. That is nice and hot. So now you should be able to hear. You hear that? That's exactly what you're looking for. Make sure they're in one even layer. Great. Now these are going to go back into the oven at 450 between 40 to 45 minutes or until they're golden brown and crispy. Now my burger was in the fridge for 10 minutes and then I let it come to room temperature for about 5 minutes because you never want to cook something straight out of the fridge. It kind of makes it seize up and it gets really tough, and that's not what we're looking for. So my cast iron skillet's really nice and hot. Put in a little bit of vegetable oil. Now you know you've got a cast iron skillet somewhere in your family. I mean, everybody does. Just search through the garage, call your Aunt Peggy, do whatever you gotta do, get that cast iron skillet because it makes the best burgers. Now you're gonna put it in. That is the sound you're looking for. Now I like my burger to be about medium to medium well, but not overcooked and well done. So I know that 3 minutes on each side is gonna be the perfect temperature. But of course, you can cook it up to your liking. If you like it well done, just cook it for longer. It's completely up to you. So let that cook, and then we'll pretty much put the whole thing together. Now that my burger's pretty much all the way cooked through, I flipped it after about 3.5 minutes. Now I'm going to put a slice of cheese right on top. You can use any cheese you want. I'm using American because I'm trying to keep this friendly for all the people who love the local, fast food burger. So now while that's melting, I'm going to quickly mix together a little bit of light mayo and some ketchup. Now I like to use organic ketchup anytime I use ketchup because it's got less sugar in it. And that's really, really important. So then just mix it together. It's as simple as that. So now what I'm gonna do is I take my bun, and you can use whole wheat roll, whatever you want. It's completely up to you. Take some of your sauce. I like to keep it simple. I like the attention to be all about the meat. Top it with some tomatoes, some red onion, if you want. Unless you're having a date, then I would tell you not to. Yum. Look at that. That is a mile-high burger right there. And you're not gonna get this in any local fast food place. Look at that. Now, of course, a burger needs fries. So I'm gonna take my fries out of the oven. Yum. You never know. They're not deeply fried. That, to me, is a burger and fries you can be proud to serve to your kids.
Ready, set, cook. Subscribe or watch another Recipe Rehab how-to video right now.